Ransomware continues its unstoppable spread around the world. In the USA last year, it hit 113 state and municipal governments, 764 healthcare providers, and a huge number of universities, colleges, and school districts. Drastic times call for drastic measures. So, are there parallels between ransomware and the Italian mafia's kidnapping for ransom strategy? And are the tactics employed against the Italian mafia able to help us fight ransomware? My family are from Italy. I grew up being told by my Italian relatives about what Italians call the dark heart of Italy. The phrase refers to the sort of rose-tinted view that tourists form of a boot-shaped paradise with lovely scenery, food, weather. "Oh, I love Italy," is the usual response I get when I tell people I'm Italian. And it is lovely, but it has a dark heart. And that dark heart is the corruption, manipulation, and violence perpetrated by the various mafias. The mafia is a broad term to describe organised crime groups in Italy. In fact, there are many mafia groups. The biggest and most notorious ones are the Camorra, who are headquartered in Naples, the Cosa Nostra from Sicily, and the 'Ndrangheta from Calabria. All have bloody history and all are experts in manipulation and racketeering and corruption. They are all notoriously difficult to apprehend and deal with. However, our focus in this video is the mafia group considered to be the wealthiest and the most violent of them all, the 'Ndrangheta. The 'Ndrangheta are based in Calabria, and it's estimated that they earn around $400 million a week, predominantly from being the main importer of cocaine in Europe. That puts their quarterly earnings firmly up there with tech giants like Amazon and Facebook. This gives you a flavour of the scale of the problem that Italy faces. Several decades ago, the 'Ndrangheta formed strong connections with the drug cartels in Colombia. The Colombian cartels had the cocaine, which needed importing to Europe, but they also embarked upon what can only be described as a skill swap with the cartels. The 'Ndrangheta taught them the art of private protection, loan sharking, racketeering, and in exchange, the Colombians taught the 'Ndrangheta the art of kidnapping high-profile people for ransom. Italy quickly developed a severe problem. In the 80s, it actually became the worst country in the world for hostage taking, kidnapping, and ransom demands. The 'Ndrangheta would expertly conduct surveillance, kidnap high-profile hostages, hold them to ransom, send body parts to the family as motivation, and then walk away with a nice payment. Most of the people were released when the ransom was paid. The problem this caused was huge. Italians started to be suspicious of their friends and family in case they tipped off the mafia of their movements. My cousin's going to the store at 2 p.m. every Monday. In one high-profile case, the lawyer who helped negotiate the victim's release was tasked with delivering the $3 million ransom and was found to have taken a percentage of that ransom, meaning that they had been working for the mafia all along. That lawyer ended up in jail, but it does highlight the feeling of paranoia that had swept the nation. Famous people were moving abroad, wealthy people were taking out insurance policies that would pay the ransom if they did end up getting kidnapped, and people were arming themselves with guns to give them that peace of mind. There's a famous photo of a young Silvio Berlusconi sitting in his office with a handgun on the desk, and this shows the level of agitation felt at that time by the public. So how did Italy stop this? The Italian government knew that they had to take drastic action and fast. They passed a controversial set of laws that destroyed the market for kidnappings. 3 measures in particular had a dramatic impact. It became illegal to pay a ransom. Law enforcement agencies had the authority to seize or freeze all the assets of your friends and family if you were kidnapped, to stop them from paying a ransom. And finally, ransom insurance policies were prohibited. Everyone expected government action to go after the perpetrators, but instead they decided to cut off the sole reason for the kidnappings: money. And it worked. Kidnappings plummeted. With nobody able to pay the ransom, there was no point going through the lengthy and time-consuming process of kidnapping. They turned their focus to other income streams, so Italy had won this fight at least. Why are we talking about mafia kidnappings on a cybersecurity vlog? Well, we as cybersecurity professionals find ourselves in a very similar position to Italy. We have a war going on. Ransomware is growing in popularity week by week, and it's a battle that we are not winning. In the US, we see state governments paying ransom demand after ransom demand, top foreign currency exchange companies publicly paying ransoms, small companies paying ransoms at the request of their insurer. We find ourselves in that same position Italy was. We can learn from what Italy did, controversial as it was: making the payments of ransoms illegal, police being able to prohibit a company's ability to pay a ransom, and the prohibition of ransom insurance policies would cut the flow of money to the criminals. Ransomware is used as a money-making machine for the most part. If nobody in the UK could pay a ransom, the desire to hit UK companies with ransomware would quickly demise. Now, like in Italy, there would be some casualties. Some people in Italy lost their lives to the 'ndrangheta when the new rules came in. Their families were unable to pay, and this caused an understandable uproar in Italy. However, the dramatic decline in kidnappings for ransom did show that the Italian government's gamble paid off. Italy isn't even in the top 40 countries for kidnappings now. These rules would cause some companies to initially suffer because they were unable to pay that ransom. But quickly, we would see a decline in ransomware attacks. Why bother when there's absolutely no chance of getting paid? Like the 'ndrangheta, cybercriminals will move on to another way to earn money. It's naive to think otherwise, but this is the game Italy must play with the mafia. And this is the game we as cybersecurity professionals must play with cybercriminals too.